China is now accusing Canada and the United States of having double standards. Patrick Falk is on the story for us again this morning. He's live from Beijing. The issue, Patrick, of the two Michaels came up for a second day in a row at the Foreign Ministry briefing. What are Chinese officials saying now?
Yeah, that's right, Heather. You didn't really need a crystal ball exactly to figure out that there'd be some strong words to come out of Beijing today, particularly after the remarks made by Prime Minister Trudeau and Mike Pompeo on Monday. But this really gave us a clear idea of China's precise contention, besides the fact that it's obviously furious about the arrest of Meng Wanzhou itself. But what was interesting also is that up till now, most of the focus has really been on pressuring Canada over the case. But these comments that were made today at the Foreign Ministry press briefing were very much directed at the US as well. So let's take a listen in to what Jia Lijian had to say.
What gives the US and Canada the right to talk about political motivation and justified detention and the arrest? They have the audacity to talk about this. If Canada and the US believe that they are exercising judicial independence to arrest Meng Wanzhou, then why are they trying to interfere in China's Justice Department's independently dealing with the relevant cases? This is double standards. It really makes us wonder how low they can go on these things.
So very strong words indeed there. And Zhao also went on to object mainly to the use of national security laws that the US has done in this instance, and has accused it of abusing its power. That is the root objection that China has. And essentially what China is saying is that it doesn't recognize that application of these laws, particularly when they're used to target its citizens in this way. But of course, all these comments will have reinforced the idea that the two cases are, despite the fact that China claims otherwise, absolutely linked.
Patrick, in addition to those strong words, double standard accusations, and as you mentioned, some of the other comments from the Foreign Ministry spokesperson, there was another warning today that Canada could face further consequences if Meng Wanzhou is not released. What specifically was said on that?
Yeah, well, this was an article in the Global Times, the state math piece of the Global Times. It was a bit of an obscure article in many ways. It was titled, in fact, that Canada should be worried about consequences if the relationship between the US and China improves. There's no sign that that's going to happen anytime soon. As we know, relations between Washington and Beijing have been very sour indeed. But essentially, the gist of it was that Canada may face further repercussions in the form of trade, and talked about the lowering of lobster exports to China, obscurely perhaps. And there was also this sort of playful element of it again sort of hinting that it was very clearly linked to the Meng Wanzhou case by saying that the sort of blockages on lobster exports to China were linked to COVID-19 and nothing else, but then emphasized towards the end of the article that the main roadblock between relations between Canada and China was Meng, and that she needed to be released.
Patrick, thank you for the very latest. We'll certainly be back to you for any new updates on this. Patrick Falk is a freelance reporter live with us from Beijing this morning.